Okay. Hello. Bear with me. So today, I'm yelling and see if you can hear the mic. In the mic. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testes 1, 2, 3. 3. Anyways, good old fucking gaffer's tape. What you're gonna do, you take your gaffer's tape and you fold it into a little triangle and roll it over. I'm doing a piss poor job on it right now. Stick it to there. Ta-da! Wireless mic. Is that good enough? By the way, that's roughly the distance from like yourself to your mic. So I probably have that a little in your mouth. Shit. What'd I do? I hit a button. I think that was noise canceling. So whatever. So from your thumb to basically your pinky, that's where you're gonna want roughly the tip of the mic. From right there, you do the same thing roughly. You do like your horn or something like that. So if you're using like if I was using like on this camera here, I got a shotgun mic. If I had that on like my C stand or something like that, it'd be like this. See how my fingers, my pinky's out of the shot. So that's where I want the shotgun mic, and then I tip it just a little bit in front of me so voice projects. Anyways, so today, voice is off today. I had this raspy thing going on. I haven't been talking much, speaking. I haven't been speaking much, so therefore I have not been using my voice and I haven't been warming it up, and it's getting it sounds a little raspy, not because of anything other than I haven't been using it. I have not been talking, speaking. So therefore what I need to do is I need to do some vocal warm-up. I'll do that for a video as well. I'll do some vocal warm-ups for a video for those of you guys who are beginners, kind of trying to practice and learn at home. So that's what you guys can do. I got a bunch of different vocal exercises. I had the camera over on this side yesterday, and now I got it on this side because I'm using my phone. So now I gotta look over to my left, your right. So, anywho's, I wanted to discuss resources as a beginner. One of the things that I see a lot of is in videos, speaking with people, like when I went to school with people, and I still have them as contacts, like on, we exchange like Instagrams and shit like that. So, but like once the class is over and you don't come back to maybe the second class, or they do come back to the second class, if you're not going to like a full university, and honestly, I'm taking my classes at a community college. I've already went to university. I'm not paying that bill again. I don't want to, not for honestly, me wanting to take some acting classes. And it's not that it's not worth it. It's just that it's expensive to go to university. I had a long time martial arts student. He started with me when he was 16 years old in high school. So he went through high school, was in a theater program there, and then he went off to ASU. And he ended up getting a master's degree in theater, and so he went through directing classes. And I remember when he directed his first play, he was super excited, and there was even fight scenes in it. So he used a lot of the knowledge that I had taught him over the years that he was with me in the fight scenes, and he directed his first play. But yeah, he ended up getting his master's, and then I haven't heard from him. Like he got rid of like all his social media, so I have no idea. Lost complete contact with him, and I don't teach anymore, so I don't have my studio. So he'd have to search me out online or something like that. But you don't have to go to university for it. You don't have to get a 4-year degree or a master's or something like that. My son, that's what he's doing right now. And again, I've let him know it's like you don't have to do that, but he wants to. He's an adult. This is his decision. So you really can get away with just taking a couple of semesters of acting at your local community college, and then going from there. So me here in Arizona, Glendale Community College is probably the most popular out of all the community colleges, and they have a fantastic staff. In my personal opinion, as far as learning how to get into like theater and acting and whatnot. So they have 2 semesters acting 1, acting 2, and then once in a while, he used to do it more regularly, but it depends, it's like hit and miss. He does acting over the summer. He has a small acting for the camera class for movies specifically. There's screenwriting there, obviously. There's screenwriting 1 and 2. I've done those. He has a directing for stage and theater. That's beneficial because even though I want to get into film and television, it's still beneficial because you still learn how to direct people, you learn how to use your resources, and you learn how to block. That is huge. Learning how to flow, like read the script. So if I'm not the writer and I'm working with a script, learn how to read the script and decipher what the writer's trying to tell me, and then make that happen on stage or for what we're looking for, what I'm looking for on camera. So those are some resources you can go to. Community college, I mentioned it in a previous video, and you're like, oh, but I can't afford college. Like, if you truly can't afford college, then that means that there's a good possibility you qualify for the Pell Grant, okay? P-E-L-L grants, FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A, .gov, not .com, not .org, not .anything, .gov. If it's not .gov, then it's not the FAFSA Pell Grant. And you fill that out, or you can just you can just set an appointment with a guidance counselor at your local community college. Excuse me. And you can get started. Just tell them, it's like, hey, I'm interested in doing a theater program, or you want to be a filmmaker. Maybe you want to be a filmmaker, and you're like, okay, I want to do the videography program or something like that. Because you can always cross over for your electives. You can always take some acting, which I recommend. So that's what I kind of wanted to discuss a little bit today on this particular video log. So going to community college is a resource for you to learn how to act. If you're already in, take it. My son's girlfriend, she is a biology major, but she decided just for fun, her last semester of her senior year, because she's a year ahead of him, he went to college a little bit later, so it's funny because he's a year older, but she graduated a year ahead of him. He doesn't graduate until next summer. So she decided to take acting 1 at her school just for fun, and she enjoyed it, and it's just something that allows her to, build their relationship and connect better together. So she's offering that support to him. So you can go to community college, set an appointment with your guidance counselor, and then let them know it's like, yeah, I will be needing financial aid. Now, the trick to financial aid, I am a college fucking pro. I have been going to college off and on. I'm 47. I started at 24. I started going to college at 24. So I have racked up several degrees. I've gone to university, I've gone to community college, I've gone to trade schools, I went to welding school, went to truck driver school, I went to motorcycle mechanic school. I've done a whole bunch of shit. I just enjoy learning. All of which, by the way, as an actor, as a storyteller, okay, because remember, whether you're an actor or whether you're the writer or whether you're a director, you are a storyteller. It's just what medium do you choose? Do you choose to be the physical character and speak the lines and act it out and represent the story that way, or are you the writer behind the scenes? Are you writing a screenplay? Are you writing a novel? Are you, what are you doing? You're a storyteller though, okay? And all of this life experience is going to compile and help you to identify with your characters and understand the stories a lot better. So life experience is going to help you. So that's a huge resource right there. But going to college, setting the guidance counselor, and when you talk to them about, say, like as an example, you're choosing the theater program, you don't need to go full time. You need at least 2 classes. And more specifically, you need 6 credits to qualify, minimum, to qualify to utilize the FAFSA Pell Grant, okay? Now, here's the nice thing. You're only going to be allotted so much money in doing so. Now, the reason I would say that is because maybe you have a part-time or full-time job. You're trying to get acting gigs, so you don't want to bog yourself down. You don't want to bog your time down with trying to go to school full-time. And that's one of the things, like my son as an example, it wasn't until this last summer that he really started reaching out. He got an agent and he's starting to try to get gigs, try to get acting jobs. Before that, because he was going to full-time and he was heavily involved in the theater program, as far as acting, as far as set design, as far as costume help, that type of stuff. It just didn't have time, especially when you're prepping for a show and you got your full day of school and all your studies, and then you still have another 2, 3, 4 hours a night practice, and then half of your Saturday is gone as well, and you kind of just you get your Sundays to rest. It can be very cumbersome of a schedule, very hectic. So you only need 6 credits. So that's where you have time to do something else. So you can take acting, as an example, you can take acting 1, and then you can do something else that you want to do. Whatever, you have something you're like, oh, I want to take photography. Go take photography. If there's an intro to cinema course, that's something that might appeal to you. You motherfucker. Well, that didn't stick. Sticks to skin better. Plus, I did a lousy job. I really did. That's not how I folded that up. I did a lousy fucking job. Just tape it on there. Fucking nerd. I don't care. But if they have intro to cinema, you want to sing, take choir, you want to take piano, guitar, I don't give a fuck what you want to take. Take something and enjoy it and just have fun with it, okay? You don't have to get a degree. You can honestly just go to school just for school, and it is a grant, okay? And that's why I recommend take 6 credit hours, because once you start pushing into 9 and definitely 12 credit hours and beyond, then you're going to run out of your semester allotment for your Pell Grants, and then you're going to have to start taking out student loans. Don't take out student loans, okay? Do the Pell Grant. 6 credit hours is all you need. Anything more than that, you run that risk of having to take out loans in order to do so, okay? All right, so community college is one. YouTube University, okay, as I hear so many people refer to this, YouTube University. Now, a couple of places. There's one in particular I'll discuss with you today, which is a YouTube channel, and is not necessarily specific towards acting, okay? So this is overall general knowledge, which in my personal opinion is really valuable. Working with young actors, and it's not just a life experience like I had mentioned before, working with young actors, how much they don't know. Now, a lot of the kids that I worked with, and they're young adults, I call them kids because, I really could be like, I'm like dad age, but how much they don't know about like the history that we're in a theater program. They love theater and like, oh, my favorite play is this, and my favorite writer is this, and my favorite character is this, and blah, 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 and they just go on and on and on. And they have this passion and this desire because they want to do it too, and it's awesome. But they don't know jack shit about like the history of theater. In acting 1, you're gonna learn quite a bit of that. The different types of stages. It's like my son's school, they're doing theater in the round. Most people are like, what the fuck is theater in the round? Basically what it is the theater stage is in the center, and it's theater in the round, but theirs is a square stage, and the seats come upwards on all 4 sides is what it is. And then they have the exits, and they have platforms on top of them, and they use those too. They're so creative. I love going watching their shows. But they do theater in the round. And because they don't have their backstage is through the entry and exit ways, they have to be a lot more creative with their set design and pieces, because there's no curtain. They can't just drop a curtain down and then change set out real quick in between scenes, and then move on to the next scene or something like that. So they have to be really creative. They did one, These Shining Lives, where my son had the lead male role, and For most of that play, I want to say for props and set pieces, they use less than a dozen. They use less than a dozen set pieces and props the entire show, and it was a terrific show. So I mean, yeah, they had to be really careful. But there's different types of stages, and that's something. So the resource is, and I'll put it I'll link it in the description. I'll link all of these. So the first one that I want to discuss today is called Crash Course. So Crash Course is really good. I've watched all of these, and it is a crash course. It doesn't give you all of the history and all of the details, but what it does is it gives you a start, excuse me, some base knowledge. So this way you can start learning how to ask questions. So the videos are typically only 10 minutes long on average, 10 to 12 minutes. So you can watch that. And how many times, like I watch this on my laptop. Oh my gosh, I'm choking here from. But I'm watching on my laptop, so I'll open up like multiple windows because my brain, it just keeps going. So I can be watching, you know, a video on the crash course on the history of like theater as an example. And what's one of them? I have it up right now. I mean, the first video is like, okay, Origins of Greek Drama is video 3. Origins of Greek Drama. So Thespis, Athens, and Origins of Greek Drama is video 3. So I'm watching this 10.5-minute video, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, that gives me an idea, and I look something up real quick. So I'll open up multiple windows and I'll ask more questions, and I'll go watch another video or something like that. Or I'll just open videos, I'll ask a question, because I type questions in specifically into the YouTube search bar, and then generate populate the different videos from there, and then go back to the video. So it's like, okay, I got that question, and I got a whole bunch of videos there, and then I'll go back to the video and watch it, and then maybe something else. So, and that's something it's honestly kind of a trick you learn, not a trick, but it's something that you really learn in college. Also something I learned in college. I don't know what they're teaching now, but how to research and ask questions. That is a huge, huge part. And when you have good professors, and I had good professors when I was going through school, like the first time years ago, I had good professors, and they would always challenge you. And there was one specific professor. He had his master's in literature, and he was our English 101. I mean, he was my English 101 professor. And I mean, day one, he was like, okay, everything you guys learned in high school, how you guys learned how to write in high school, do the best you can to forget all that shit, because I'm gonna retrain you how to actually write. And it was completely different, and it made way more sense, and it was way easier. And if I recall, he got his master's from Harvard, and he's like, teaching out here and such like that. But I love that teacher. He was so knowledgeable, and he taught us how to think. So when you're developing your story, when you're researching your piece, whether it's biographical, or we're writing for like a biography, we're writing about a product, we're writing about an actual person, we're writing just a story. It's like research. So he was really big onto that, and because it gives you more information. And then when you write your piece, you don't sound like an idiot, okay? And people actually want to read it. It's not just using tricks of hooking people and all these writing tricks, and you end up with some fucking word salad that, like, dude, I got done with that, and it was written well to a point, but punctuation and verbiage, and it's like, but I didn't learn a damn thing. So anyways, learning how to ask questions. So Crash Course has it, and I'll put all the links to this. So they have one on theater. It's 51 videos, and that may seem overwhelming. You don't have to watch them all, but you spend 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day watching, 2-3 videos, whatever it is, you'll get through it in a couple of weeks, and then you'll learn stuff, and then you'll research stuff. So like right now, we're in September. If you're gonna go to college and learn, well, most colleges, if they have acting 1 and 2, you're not taking acting 1 necessarily second semester, unless it's a really big school and they can afford to have that class available, okay? Sticking now, good. So you got time to learn something about theater, so this way when the professor's like, okay, well, we're gonna learn a little bit about theater, a little bit about acting, a little bit about this, and you're like, oh, cool, I already know that, and then because you already a little bit know what the professor's gonna talk about, don't just sit there and be like, oh, good, I already know this, so that'll be easy on the test. It's something that's one less thing I have to remember. It's like, no. Use that as an opportunity because you already know that to ask deeper questions. That's where you're going to really learn, and that's honestly how you take advantage of school. I still go to school, and how many fucking people don't ask questions at all, and it's just infuriating. Learn the material, read the stuff, take the test, forget about it over the weekend, start over on Monday, and then try to study as hard as you can at the end of the semester to remember it, but you're not actually remembering anything. You're just regurgitating stuff that the professor taught, and I get that. That's fine. I'm sure I've done that a little bit myself. But if you're really passionate about a subject, learn it and then relearn it and then relearn it and then relearn it and relearn it. The more you're relearning that same stuff, the more in depth you're going to be able to go, because you're gonna learn all the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs and the sideways and the backwards and the forwards and such like that. So it's going to help you a lot. So they have a theater one. Crash Course has a theater one. They have another one on the history of film. I thought that one was pretty fascinating. That was only 17 videos, and yeah, each one of them is about 10 minutes long, roughly. You're learning about how movies started and cameras a little bit. They go into cameras and they go into movies. And if you want to work in television, you want to work in movies, again, learning more about the process of storytelling is going to help you. And that's what you're doing. It's like, well, how does this help me to be a better actor? I just need to learn how to act. If you're thinking that way, then maybe in 2 years you're going to be like how many other people who aren't getting any gigs. Like, oh, I've been doing this 10 years and I did this. What was it? I actually talked to someone just this last week or the week before, and we were discussing, someone had asked, like, oh, I've been doing this for, what did the person say? I've been doing this for, the group we were talking in, I've been doing this for like 8 months or something. And it's like, I've done 7 auditions and no one's called me back. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? 7? So you did 1 a month? It's like, so you've basically done, if I do the math, it's like you've done 1 every 32, 33 days. That's pathetic. If you're not doing some type of self-submission, several times a week, I mean, you should be doing like, 3 to 4 minimum per week. There should be projects on, depending on where you go. Facebook, Actors Access, Backstage. There's another one too, I forget, that I'm not on just yet. So, but then the other guy's like, dude, I did so many different projects here and here and here and here. And he says, it took me 10 years before I ever spoke my first lines on an actual television show. He says, I've been doing so many student films and projects and independents and, just little, and commercials and shit like that. But radio spots, he was doing that, he's doing voiceover. And he says, before I actually got a role and spoke my first lines on an actual television show that aired, not just like a pilot, he says, it was about 10 years. So, and I don't say that to discourage you, I'm hoping it doesn't take me that long either, but it's all learning how to tell stories. So, they have one on film history, which I think is actually, they get into German Expressionism, they get into, the language of film, they get into certain specific people who were influential in the early part of the 20th century. That's the 1900s for you youngins. The birth of the feature film, Soviet montage, the silent era, breaking the silence, the golden age, blah, blah, blah. It was fascinating to me, but I just love learning shit. So that's a playlist. The theater playlist, the film playlist is a good resource. And then there's another one, film production. Is one. It's 16 videos in the crash course, in the playlist, and it goes over starting from the bottom, starting from the beginning, screenplays, pitch and pre-production, filming, setting up cameras, sound production, producers, what does a producer do? Directors, cinematographers, designing the film, designing the world of the film. There's so much, grip and electrical, special effects. The reason this is important, you ever want to be on set, if you ever get an opportunity to be like an extra on sets, it's going to help you to kind of know different roles. If you can get to be a PA on sets, that would be really good too, because then you're going to understand the hierarchy a little bit. So when you go there, you'll still be fresh and green. You're like, I don't know that much, but I watched this thing and I kind of understand it a little bit. You know, don't take it as like, you know, it's obviously just absolute set in stone. This is the only way. Remember, you're going to get to a set, and one set's going to be run different than another set, then another set, and another set. But the hierarchy is still basically there. And then obviously an independent film, you're going to have less people, so the hierarchy is still to a point there, but you're going to have people taking on multiple roles, and there's going to be a lot less people than like a big Hollywood production or something like that. So this will teach you about film production, okay? And then there is another one, if you're interested, I'll link it anyways, which is film criticism. And they kind of go, they discuss certain movies, and they critique them. The reason that's important is because you learn the breakdown. So when you look at things as a critic, you learn how to break down. You're starting to break down the film, the motivation behind it. Was the final edit any good? How did the cinematography, the color grading, all the workings, like the sound design sucked and it didn't match up, and you know the story was this and it fell flat here, and there was this big gap here, and this happened and this happened. So you know, learning how to critique. I got so many resources, fucking ridiculous. And we'll get into that all as time goes on. So Crash Course is a website, is a YouTube channel, that I would recommend, and I will link the theater, the film history, and the film production, and even the film criticism, for you guys to kind of check those out if those are an interest of yours. Hopefully you get something out of it. I know I've gotten a lot out of it, but it just helps me to be able to ask better questions to people who know more than I do. That's the whole reason, is to give me just a quick rundown, so I can ask more in-depth questions, and I don't have someone, I'm not on set for the first time, and you know, I don't know what to do, and I'm kind of just frozen, and then you miss something, or then someone yells at you or kind of gets on your case because you're accidentally holding things up, and you're like, I didn't know. And it's like, yeah, well, that's because you didn't know anything about being on set. So, and there's other resources as well, from people who, like there's one lady, I forget her name, but she teaches a whole bunch of stuff, and she started off as a PA in New York, and now she's an AD. And then she's worked her way up to like first AD and such like that on film sets. So she gets some information. We'll get into that another time. Just wanted to give you that resource today, and hopefully these help you out a little bit, and you can learn some stuff. So until next time.